Mr. Sexy Zachary.
I'm only sexy after 10:30 apparently.
Oh my God.
How are you doing, Mr. Gorgeous Sir?
I'd fill you out like an application, bro.
I
No
mean,
homo.
I would definitely search all the crevices of your body.
You would probably
So,
be my first search on the hub. And
nice.
I say that, and I'm probably sure you could type in your name, and there's something that's gonna pop up.
Uh, I mean, I pay a lot of money to make sure that shit doesn't pop up. So I hope not. But
Bro, what you
since
got?
we're on a night podcast,
I know,
got a
like
little drinky drink.
we do. Oh, hold on. No. Got mine here, even though my camera sucks. What you sipping on tonight?
Well, I got a little Whitmire's cast strength single barrel.
Oh, you went with the good shit.
Yeah, I've never had it before. I've heard a lot of good references, so I thought, you know what, but what's funny is I got it, and that's not even what I went there for.
What'd you
I
want?
went there, I wanted some Garrison Brothers,
Ooh,
so I had some
ooh, I
in
need a
like a
mop.
test.
I need a
Oh
mop.
my god, that stuff is like
Heaven.
it's like candy on your tongue, but it burns. It's so good.
If I could have
Um,
a wish to where I could drink a bottle of that and not get drunk and continue drinking that bottle, I would
I,
be
I
okay
mean,
with that.
I don't drink to get drunk anyway.
Right.
I like that. So there's like five levels, I guess, of drunk, right?
Okay.
And I just like to get to that first step, right? I guess if you put it in like a sex term, it's like I just like the tip. That's really it. Like
If that's your
I'm not
number
a
one, I'm curious on what level 4 is.
well, four is usually like you remember everything in bits and pieces, and sometimes your life is in slow motion. And
Okay.
then five is just complete like naked streaking and not remembering anything and maybe waking up like in your neighbor's bird bath.
Oh, that's level 2 for me.
So on level five, do you wake up in the fucking moon? Like what the hell? Dude, so anyway, my whole point of this story is before we went to, Ed's a drunk. Um, I went in there to buy Garrison Brothers, and
Okay.
when you go into a store,
A
who do you
whiskey
think
store.
well, I mean, yeah. Who do you think would be the most knowledgeable person in the building?
Probably the person working
Me
there.
or the person who exactly. See, that's what I thought. But what
Hold on.
happens when you assume?
What store did you go to? Let's clarify that. Was it a mom and pop store? Was it a
Yes.
Okay, see, now I have a problem with it because mom and pop stores, you should know your shit.
Well, exactly. I'm kind of thinking like, bitch, don't you sign the rec forms for all this shit that comes in?
Now, if you
Like,
go to
what
like
the
a
hell?
if you go to a Total One or a Specs or something, more than likely you're gonna run into somebody like, dude, I'm just here on minimum wage.
Right, right. Those people, it's like they work at Home Depot. It's like I'm just going to try to avoid eye contact with you, and if you look at me, I'm going to run away. Like that's kind of where I was. But yeah, at a mom and pop, I totally thought she's going to know every bottle that's in here. No, I said, ma'am, I can't seem to find Garrison Brothers, and she's like, Garrison?
And
Never heard of him. I'm like, motherfucker.
hold on, he has a brother?
Right, yeah. So I went back to the whiskey aisle and I found Whitmire's.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found Whitmire's, I was like, oh, here's a whole Texas section she didn't even know they had.
Yeah.
Right next to Whitmire's, Garrison Brothers.
Texas bourbon
So,
doesn't get the love it needs to, man.
well, right. It was on like the third shelf from the bottom. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I saw the Garrison Brothers, but I'd already picked up the Whitmire's. So I was like, not going to hurt. So I just took that home, sipping on that. What you got in
Oh.
your glass there, buddy?
I've got a little bottle of a Rebel Yell.
Rebel
Um,
Yell. That's still Kentucky bourbon too, right?
it is a Kentucky straight bourbon, 40 proof or 80 proof, excuse me. Um, very reasonably priced, and I doubt the camera will pick it up because my camera sucks. But this bottle is about as big as my youngest child, um, and really affordable, very smooth. Um,
I mean, you're
yeah.
more of a whiskey. You have more of a whiskey palate than I do. I'm more of a beer drinker, but not even like dark beer. Just like, hey, I like Natty Lights. So this
Nothing
is
wrong with the natter day every day,
well, no,
every
I
now
mean,
and then.
I remember those pool days. Those were fun.
But
Get a 30 pack of stones, and we were good.
so
A little
speaking
more
of
sophisticated.
cheap beer, cheap beer normally gives you the shits from
Uh,
my experience. Um,
I mean, is Bud Light considered cheap beer?
I think in today's beer world, yes.
I was gonna say
Um,
because I drink craft beer usually,
mhm.
and it doesn't seem to run through me. Would you say?
If you bring up like the beer that you used to drink, like in college or in high school or in
Yeah,
intermediate school, depending on your starting age, um, a lot of
you
people,
overzealous motherfuckers.
if you start presenting that to people nowadays, they feel like you spit in their face and like, oh, do you want this Hoot and Flaws and Fleet and Flues? I'm like, no, you got a Miller Lite, man. And they're just appalled, right?
Well, because
Um,
it's like in society now, if you don't spend $10 on a six pack, you're fucking cheap.
bro, and I like almost want to throw up sometimes when I'm. And don't get me wrong, I do buy six packs when they're around
Right,
$10. But
right. We're assholes.
when I first started doing that, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I can get a pack of fucking stones over there, 20 for $5 or some shit."
Yeah, I look at it and I'm like, hey, there's Miller High Life over there in a bottle. I'm down.
But what I say all that to say, your cheap beer. It brings us to this episode's "Would You Rather."
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready, I guess.
No pun intended coming your way.
Oh.
Would you rather fart really loud or shit your pants silently? Would you let just be sitting at work, sitting in the classroom, sitting at home, or doing the dirty and you let one rip and it echoes for days? Or would you rather be just walking to lunch one day and you shart and it, there's a curveball.
Oh yeah.
Is a
Is
shart
it
silent or is a shart loud?
well if you're shitting your pants, we can both agree that a shark is shitting your pants, correct?
But you're hoping it was a fart?
Well, okay, but like when your cheeks are stuck together, like it's not a fart.
Right.
So what I'm saying is if you're saying shit your pants silently, I would say a shark in that instance would have to be silent. I mean, we've all been there. They're not always silent.
maybe it's a 50-50 deal. Like you get a shart rolling and then all of a sudden it's either screaming to the mountains or quiet as a church mouse.
So, I mean, that's the question, right? Like, so if it's silent, can I just slink away and no one knows except they're just like, what the hell's that smell?
No, I'm dipping to the nearest bathroom. I'm chunking them drawers.
Well, yeah, but if you like legit shit your pants, right? That means you can't control it. So almost 99% of the time, it's liquid. It's going through them drawers. It's gonna be
Oh my god.
if like you're sitting in a chair, it's gonna leak through onto the floor, right? Like it's gonna be epic. So honestly, I think if you're in public with the right type of people, if you fart so loud you knock a picture off the wall, like you might get a high five. Like I don't know.
See,
Right?
I'm going loud fart
Yeah,
because
me too.
when that goes off, people are like, "Oh, Ed's here." Hey,
Well, I
Ed.
mean, you're like "Brr, Bolton. So I mean, yeah, I guess if I had to pick, I'm ripping a loud one
Um,
because I think there's just you can recover from a huge fart, but I don't know if you can recover from shitting your pants.
oh, you can't. I'm sure you can't. Like,
What if it was like the first time you met your in-laws and you shit your pants like on their couch?
I'm okay with that.
You know what? I'm okay with that too. 'Cause then I'd get to leave.
Right. It gives you a reason to say,
You know
"Deuce,"
what? I'm gonna take this to the house. And they're like, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
and don't come back.
No.
The one time you come back, they have fucking plastic laid out everywhere.
Like little doggy pads or whatever the hell those things are called.
You get a
Oh,
text, "Hey, make sure you bring your shit back."
yeah. Hey, for real. When you show up, can you just make sure that there's a go bag in the car?
Oh
But
man.
and then like you'd have to deal with those stupid ass jokes the whole time. You're like, hey, you sure you want to eat that? I don't know if it's gonna upset your stomach. And it's like, fuck you guys.
Hey, Shitty McShitterson, how are you doing today?
You'd have all the dumbass jokes.
Well,
Anyway,
you ready to jump into this?
let's do it.
Let's fucking go, dude. Hit it.
Woo!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports. I'm Ed.
I'm Zach.
And here we are again for another shit show. Welcome. It's been a while, and I know some of you are pissed off. We got the YouTube video up for the last one. We don't have the audio out. Hey, life happens. Shit happens, all right?
Look, this is an amateur show. We ain't professional.
You're getting a 2-for-1 on the next one, so suck it. Dude, sports world been a little crazy lately.
Yeah.
Not only has Tiger Woods been speeding the fuck off, which causes accident, but Mr. Deshaun Watson is up to, look at the board, he's up to 22. 22 allegations. With those allegations,
I'm so irritated with this.
well, some juice has been flowing on this one, and no puns intended on that.
I was like, can you say that?
I just did. And so one of the Jane Does, who's been classified as Jane Doe number 1, has come out publicly with her name, and I believe a video is out. I haven't checked. So more realism is coming to this because there's a name to the story, right? One of the victims came out.
The face with the victim, yeah.
Right. And it's a scary thing because maybe this holds water. Maybe Watson did do this stuff because shit. I mean,
I think this is like worst case scenario. I mean, obviously it's worst case scenario for everybody involved because now it's clear that, you know what, they're not backing down. They're not. No, I mean, obviously it's still possible that this is all fake, right? But I feel like once you put your name out there, once you put your face out there, it's a very bold statement, especially, you know, when it's somebody that's as recognizable as Deshaun Watson.
Right.
I feel like once you put your name to it and you're out there, people are crazy, right? So, like, what we should do as a society is step back and let justice like handle itself. But that's not what we do with any topic ever. So you're going to have people that are going to run out there and they're going to be like, well, we should believe all women and she's telling the truth and she's a victim. And you know what? She could be telling the truth, but we don't know that yet. But she still deserves her place to tell her spot, right?
Absolutely. And
then on the flips. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
She can't be shut down.
No.
Because none of us were in that room. All right. If she was actually one of the chicks that was in a room giving a massage to Watson and this went down, we don't know what took place. So we have no place to judge her. And let alone, we really can't really judge him on this either. Right.
Right. I mean, until all the facts are laid out and, you know, until we know all the information, there is no way that someone like us that's completely detached from the situation other than, you know, what we hear in the news cycle, there's no way that we should be formulating an accurate opinion on anything that's going on because frankly we don't know.
Right.
And I don't know, like, outside of this Deshaun Watson thing, it really irritates me that we're to that place in society where okay, if you're a huge fan of the Texans or you've been a fan of Deshaun Watson since Clemson, then you're going to defend him tooth and nail. It's like, you don't know that dude. He doesn't hang out with you.
No,
he doesn't pay your bills.
And that's where the separation between sports and reality needs to come into place, to where anybody with some type of brain that fully works to a quarter of what it should needs to understand that, one, these athletes don't care about you, but two, they don't truly affect your life in any form or fashion. So for you to get emotionally involved into a story like this when you have no connection to it is idiotic to me.
I'm with you 100% on that. I mean, I don't think that we are in disagreement that we want to sit back and wait for all the evidence to come out. I mean, we have our opinions of, you know, what's been said and what he's accused of, and obviously he has been contacting these women, so we have that opinion.
So
But other than that,
I have more to add on to that about him and the contacting some of these women.
okay,
The woman who came forward, who publicly went out and gave her information, Ashley Solis, is one of the 22 victims. So there's a name, there's a face, there's a story
yeah,
that may have some truth, right? So if you remember about a week or so ago, Deshaun Watson's lawyer came out and said, "Hey, we have 18 women who did massages with Deshaun, said he was a great guy, didn't do anything misleading or try to throw his ding ding on us or anything like that,
right.
right?" So came out today, and I heard it on 610 radio. For those of y'all who live outside of Houston, that's just one of our AM sports radio shows here. They had an attorney come on that has nothing to do with the case, but it was brought up that one of the 18 women that stood behind Deshaun Watson, Tony Busby, the plaintiff attorney, has Instagram DMs to where she was DMing Deshaun, knowing that he's been doing stuff way back when with other masseuses or whatever, and told him, "Hey, you don't need to be doing that. That's going to catch up with you." All right. Now, if I'm giving out some type of false information, please let me know. But the way I took the information was somebody who was on his side, knew he was doing wrong, DM'd him and said, "Hey, don't be doing that shit. It's going to get you in trouble." So now she's playing both sides of the field, which doesn't look good for Deshaun Watson if there's any truth behind that whatsoever. Um,
That's new. That's new to me, and I think you hit the nail on the head. If somebody was sending him messages in the past telling him to knock off what he's doing, then she knows it's wrong. She knows exactly what he's doing,
and she stood up
and
for him.
yeah, I mean, she tried to tell him to knock it off so that he didn't get in trouble, and now I think that just adds more fuel to the fire for all the people that are against Deshaun Watson. I mean, that's almost like a smoking gun. You know what I mean?
Well, you ready for it to get worse?
Oh no,
Because I
no,
have more. All
oh
right.
god,
And here I am wearing this tonight.
yeah.
Um, it was also reported that somebody within the Texans organization, maybe a staff member or a player, my understanding was a staff member was the one that recommended these said massage artists, whatever you call them, um, and possibly the Houston Texans organization uh, gave the massage tables, provided them to Deshaun, whether they be at his house or.
Okay,
All right.
well,
So if they provided the tables, no big deal, right? But
right
if the person who is recommending these masseuses to Deshaun and he knows that Deshaun's been doing this, he or
now,
she,
yeah, that's the
that
catch right
that's a
there.
problem we run into. And the problem with it is whoever that individual is, now he kind of represents the whole organization because he works for the Texans, right?
Hundred
Um,
percent.
so I think we're about to see a bigger shit show than we expected. You
Yeah,
got an
I
extra one
mean
of
that.
those I can wear for just now?
Hey, you know what? I've been a fan for a long
Well,
time.
you know what? And I'm still going to be a fan of the Texans after all this shit show is done. But,
Well, I mean, yeah,
anyways,
you said you were just waiting on them to fire Bill O'Brien.
and they
They did
did.
that, and
Hey,
then now they're going to lose their quarterback.
and you know what? If all this comes out to be true, then so be it. It's the best thing that could happen to him, right?
Well, I
Um,
mean, yeah, because obviously he has a problem. If this is true, then obviously he has a problem, and he needs to quit, and he needs to get help. And if this is what it takes to get it to light, to where he gets the help he needs, but also he's not hurting any more women, I'm all about it.
so this is what I don't understand.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson has had 40 different massage personnel. Think about it.
Okay.
22 allegations, 18 that came out on the other side saying, no, he was good. If my math is correct, that's 40, correct?
Yeah.
How many times, how many different barbers have you had?
Well, I mean, a lot, I guess.
Okay, but do you get a new one every week?
No, it's not. Yeah, once I find somebody that does a good job, I go to them until they make a
My
mistake.
point exactly, right? So
Yeah.
this right, and this is strictly my opinion only. With him having 40 different women, whether they say good or bad, he went to 40 different women. There's a chance that there is some truth to the the bad shit that's going on because of the fact that there's so many fucking women. If you go through 40 massages, you should surely find one and be like, "Yep, that's the one." Or is he going through 40 massages thinking which one's going to suck my dick next?
Right. That's what I'm thinking the appeal is. I think the appeal is he's getting these massages from women that don't expect him to get out of line. And maybe that's the excitement for him. I don't know. I don't want to speculate too. I mean, I'm just basing that off of
I'm just
some
throwing it out
of
there.
the- right. I'm just saying this is based on some of what the witnesses have already said.
Hmm.
Um, I'd say witnesses, some of the victims, alleged victims, we should say. That's what they are claiming. And I think that's the appeal. I think that right there tells me that he does have a problem. And you're right. Once you find, because honestly, if your goal is to be massaged because of the toll that you're putting on your body, like you would look around and you would find one person that does it right. Because as soon as somebody did it right, you would never need anyone else.
Yep.
So I don't get it. And like I said, if he just wanted his ding ding touched, like there are plenty of women in Houston that would do that just because he's the Texans quarterback.
Absolutely. And there's probably
So
plenty of dudes out there that do too, if that's his
I mean, yeah,
flavor.
whatever he's into. That's what I'm saying. In Houston, not only is he the quarterback in this town, the town is so diverse. He could find whatever the hell he wanted.
That is true.
So
He's kind of got like a mod pizza of available partners out there. Um, so with everything that's going on with Deshaun Watson, which we will continue to update y'all if we can. No promises made because yeah, fuck
yeah,
that.
we're trying to stay on top of it, but it's just
Giggity.
honestly, it's so fucking depressing to talk
It
about.
really is. But because of more shit that's come out, I believe what we're segueing into, all the shit that's come out with Deshaun Watson helped this process happen. And I'm talking about Sam Darnold getting traded to Carolina. Two of the top teams that were front runners to get Deshaun Watson in a trade. You constantly heard New York Jets. You constantly heard Carolina was moving up quick to possibly
Yeah,
giving up
the only other team you ever
everything.
heard about was Miami. Yeah, it was
And
the Jets, and it was Miami, and then Carolina. That was it.
and now Sam Darnold's been traded to the Jets. He got, let's see, Panthers got the Sam Darnold for giving up a 2021 sixth-round draft pick plus a second and fourth round selection in 2022.
Yes,
What?
I
How?
mean
What?
that's cheap.
That's dirt cheap. And a lot of people are probably saying right now, well, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Like that's a perfect trade for him. No,
No,
you're the
that's a guy
fuck.
that they drafted in the first round 3 years ago.
Exactly.
What the
Right.
hell?
And you gave up a gerbil and a bag of sand for him.
Right. It's like they traded a snack pack at lunch for like broccoli. Like what the
So
hell?
if I I would probably be more comfortable with this trade if you would flip the years in the draft. So
So if they got the second and third like this year,
if they would have gotten the second and fourth this year
yeah,
and
yeah,
then the
second and fourth one.
third next year, I might be okay with it. I would still be like, this is still kind of fucked up because of the fact that, I mean, again, I'm a Sam Darnold fan.
I'm with you.
I think
I'm with you.
he's missing the right keys. I think Corey Davis getting to New York spiced it up a little bit, and now you're taking him away, and he's going to an offense with Christian McCaffrey, who might have a good leg.
Well, I was gonna say that's the drawback to how well he can perform in Carolina. Um, Most of their receivers are gone.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel's gone. He's over in Washington now. You still got Robbie Anderson. That's the only good thing you're really
That's
holding
the
on
only
to.
one they had, and he used to play in New York, so they do have some rapport there.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said, Christian McCaffrey is a running back on his second large contract after a major injury. Um, I I would like to say that Christian McCaffrey comes back just the way that he was. I know he has NFL pedigree. Obviously, his dad played for the Broncos, so I kind of
Mhm.
know a little bit about him. And that guy was tough as nails. And who's to say that in today's medicine he doesn't come back just as strong or stronger than he was before? But that's a huge gamble.
Very
So
huge.
it's good that they were able to get a quarterback who we both think is starting caliber.
Yep.
Um, he's had kind of a raw deal in New York. So, I mean, I understand. I wish that New York would have kept him, obviously. I feel like with
Absolutely.
all the draft picks that they can get this year, I mean, if you don't know the draft picks and what they can get, Colin Cowherd broke down their draft, like a mock draft of just what the Jets could do. The GM for the Jets has 2 first-round picks this year, 2 first-round picks next year. So that entire team could look completely different from today to 2023 after he drafts all those players. Um, this team could easily compete with a quarterback. Um, but like I said, I understand the GM
Excuse me.
and Sam Darnold was already in place, so he was not able to draft his guy. Now you're at number 2, and a guy like Zach Wilson is sitting there. I completely understand why you'd want to cash in all your chips on Sam Darnold and rebuy basically with Zach Wilson. I get it.
I'm really surprised that Carolina did not. Carolina came out ahead on this one, in my opinion. I'm really surprised that they didn't sucker in and throw in this, even next year's first round pick, like some type of first round pick. Um, and maybe
Yeah,
the excuse me, maybe the numbers aren't there for Sam Darnold to impress people for a first round, and
yeah,
maybe I'm just going off of hope and wishes, but I think like there's so much that we haven't seen from this kid because he hasn't had much to work with, which you said. Um, it's damning to see him go from the Jets to Carolina, and it's practically a wash, in my opinion, as far as teams for himself. Maybe a little bit better defense, and that's about it. But
yeah. I
um,
mean, there's still a big glaring hole there since Luke Kuechly's not there anymore. I know he's been retired for a while, but
yeah,
I mean, it just seems like once he left, the defense really hasn't had a spark. And then they cut Quan Short. He's gone off the defensive line. I mean, Carolina's in a rebuilding process. I mean, that's clear. Um, it's weird that they have Christian McCaffrey as a skill position player, because usually skill position players are guys you draft or build up after you have a solid foundation. Um, but yeah, I think Carolina comes out smelling like a rose in this one because they got a guy who in his draft class was really highly touted, and they got him for like a bag of chips.
yep.
Like you're not even going to miss those picks.
So
And
let
if he hits, you hit a home run.
absolutely.
It's going to look. I think both teams are going to come out really good. But I really hope Sam Darnold does something in Carolina. It would be really awesome.
So let's stay on the top of Carolina. Do you think we're gonna see more of a Wildcat offense with them and having Teddy Bridgewater back there?
Well, no, I think Sam Darnold's more of your pocket passer type guy, more of a conventional style offense. I'm really sure you will see Teddy Bridgewater moved before the draft.
No
I
shit.
don't think that he'll even be on the roster for the first week of the season for the Carolina Panthers. I think they have completely aborted that plan.
Do you think that is gonna be on Carolina's request, or do you think that's gonna be on his request?
Well, I think it's going to be a mutual agreement because Carolina clearly doesn't need him anymore.
Yeah, they got Will
And
Greer back there.
I definitely think that Teddy Bridgewater can be a starter in the NFL. There are enough holes in the NFL at the quarterback position where he could get another shot. He might not be handed a starting job. He might have to earn it, but he's clearly capable of beating someone in camp. If we have a camp, fucking Rona.
Right. Well, excuse me. I think we'll have camp this year just because of the fact. I mean, look how baseball's been doing with the crowds and spring training and
Yeah.
everything going on there. Um, I'm trying to
Yeah, I
picture.
mean, that's doing pretty good. They're making everybody wear a mask and they're getting all the vaccines and all that kind of stuff. So fingers crossed we get one, but
I think we'll
Teddy
get one.
Bridgewater's really going to need it.
But
Yeah.
so I think Carolina giving Bridgewater a shot opens the eyes to the rest of the NFL. Is he going to be worth somebody? Is he going to be worth our time? Um, do we want to put him as the face of our organization? Because he came out of New Orleans looking like a stud after that hellacious leg injury. As a backup, looked great. Carolina threw in all their eggs in the basket, took them. They did okay. Nothing special to really brag about or say, okay, we want to do this again one more year with you. Hence why they got Sam Darnold. Um, but I'm going to see him as a backup and then eventually just fall off and we forget about him until somebody dusts off a record book and says, oh, yeah, Teddy Bridgewater broke his leg in practice or some stupid shit, right?
Yeah, he's always going to be remembered as, oh, that's the guy that tore his leg up completely and lost his career at practice. That's what we're
Yeah.
going to remember.
And
It's terrible. He's a good guy.
he really is. And I think when he was in Minnesota, he was doing good things there. And
He was
then
showing improvement, that's for sure.
that freak accident where his bone just decided to break and come out the skin, making linemen throw up and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's sad to see a story like Teddy Bridgewater's go the way it is, and I hope that we're wrong. I hope he comes out and shines somewhere else.
I'm with you, man. I do hope that he can be something, but I just don't see it, man. I think he's a good enough player to be a starter, but I mean, I just don't know where.
That's the problem, right? And who knows? Maybe Tyrod Taylor will get another punctured lung, and then he ends up in Houston or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess that's who we were going to say is going to be the opening day starter for the Texans is
I'm
Tyrod.
I'm already counting on it.
I'm pretty sure Deshaun Watson's played his last down as a Texan.
I'm almost positive that back with Deshaun Watson, which I failed to mention, more news came out today that a lot of his sponsors have either cut ties with him or suspended
Yep.
ties with him. Nike suspended. Beats by Dre suspended. HEB said, whoa, 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 our contract ended with him in 2020. We ain't touching that.
Right.
Apple, done. Like, this dude's about to fork up a lot of money and he ain't got no way to pay it.
Yeah, I also heard through back channels that the Texans are exploring a way to
Get out of the
cancel
contract.
and void his contract.
Oh my
So
God.
he'll be completely out on his own.
Jesus.
I mean,
The dude just opened a restaurant in Houston too, just before COVID.
yeah. I mean, I don't want to say like I don't feel sorry for like
If it came
I
out
feel
true, I
sorry
don't feel
for
sorry
right
for
now.
him.
If the allegations are true, like they might as well just like I don't know. Like I'm a big proponent of, once you cross that line that you don't get to be in society anymore. So that's a whole other topic and that's a whole other podcast.
Dude, like I'm
But
tired.
yeah.
I'm tired of the story of Deshaun Watson, but I want to know more. I want
Well, yeah, I just want it to end. I want to get to the end of it. And
all the cards on the table. Did you
right, I
do
want to
it?
know all
Yeah,
the
I fucked
stuff.
up. Cool, you're gone.
Yeah,
And let's move on. All right.
exactly. Because this dragging it out of, oh, did he do it or didn't he do it? Or is he going to start for the Texans or are they going to do something else? Like, I just want to know what happens. Like, just fast forward to the end of the movie, right before the credits, tell me what happens.
I feel like this is time that we could be using on more important stuff like sports betting or fucking.
Sports betting, that's a good way to lose money. How we been doing on that?
I'm up today. I did good.
Ooh.
My shit hit
Well,
today.
so they always say that the easiest sport to bet on is hockey.
Yes, sir.
And I will say, as a person who's lost hundreds of dollars betting on hockey, it ain't that fucking easy. Okay.
So
What'd you hit on today?
normally I go on money line because from I look at the numbers. I'll tell you right now, and everybody who's listening, I have yet to watch a single game of hockey this entire season, but I bet hockey based off the numbers. Okay, that's a whole nother
Because we're
podcast.
both degenerates.
We
Doesn't matter.
are, and we can go into a whole podcast of formulas and all that later if y'all want it. Hit us up in the comments, whatever. We'll go
Oh
from
yeah.
there. So the first
I
one,
mean, I'm not gonna lie. I have definitely worked out a load based just on your spreadsheets. But
dude,
anyway,
and they're about to get so much better. I can't wait. So
I'm
for
I'm I'm already in first gear right now.
somebody get that man a mop, please. First bet tonight went with a three-team parlay with money lines on the Oilers, the Maple Leafs, and the Golden Knights. Did a little now. When I first started hearing about sports betting, let me back up on this. I I hear sports betting, I'm thinking people are dropping hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a night on this and that. Nope. Nope. $10. $10. I bet $10 to chance to win 33. All right.
Well, I mean, like Mark Cuban might be betting, hundreds of thousands of dollars on hockey, but I just ain't got that much fucking money.
No, I'm a baller on a budget. All right.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna fake it till I make it.
And then my second one was a three-team parlay as well, still in hockey. Took the under of 6.5 on the Oilers and Senators game, under 5.5 of Golden Knights and the St. Louis Blues, and then the over at 5.5 on the Avalanche and the Wild. My money line did not hit, and my money line for the month of April is at like 68% accurate.
Woo.
Okay, and then
Big
my
numbers.
my over and short is at just above 50% accurate. Okay. But with the number of gains that come out, it's finding those ones that pay off for you, right? And
Yep.
so, taking your advice, I'm in the process of tracking based off a difference from my formula to the odds and what the real line is to see if there's some type of pattern that hits, whether it be half a goal, full goal,
Yeah.
whatever, right? But tonight I was doing something a little bit different that's off my spreadsheets, that's
Oh,
out of the
good.
norm. And I started looking at, now I know those of y'all who bet on hockey are going to start laughing at me because I'm still a newbie. But
That's okay. Fuck them. You won.
I started looking at the goalies and their histories with the teams that they're playing against and what they're getting and this and that. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. I've tried everything else. What's one more thing, right?
Yeah.
So my money line did not hit. My over and shorts did hit. And so for a $10 bet, I won 57 bucks. That's
Hell
57
yeah.
bucks more than I had before.
Well, I mean,
Um,
I know people are probably gonna knock you like, oh my god, a unit for you is $10. You know what? Fuck you. Like, if that's your feeling towards us in the podcast, fuck you. Like, you know what? I don't even care. We're supportive. I don't care. Honestly, if you bet a penny and you win, I want to talk about it. I
bro,
don't even care how much you bet. I want to know not how much you bet and how much you won. I want to know how you got there so that way I can steal it.
if I could nickel and dime to make money, I'm gonna nickel and dime it. Fuck it.
That money's there to be made, man. Make that money.
Absolutely. So the bets are out there. You got to know what you're looking for. And I'm going to go ahead and take my hat off to you, Zach. You got me on it. I'm loving it. And we're going to keep riding this son of a bitch out.
No, don't blame
Basketball.
me when the wife asks you who brought you into gambling, because then
Oh,
that's not me.
no habla inglés. To go back, and we're
Who's
not,
doing who dis?
we haven't even talked about it. We have new NCAA champions with the Baylor Bears repping
True.
Texas.
Yep.
I got paid on that one too. I took the over on the first half of 76, and I took Baylor at +4. Now
That's pretty good.
you and I talked
considering.
about it, and you were like,
Yeah.
I don't know about the
So, like,
+4.
full disclosure, since we've never dabbled in the basketball on the podcast, it's
That's
clear to
true.
know I'm not a fan of the sport. I don't
Nope.
care. I don't follow it.
I've lost too
But
much money on basketball.
well, I just like to bet stuff. And
Yep.
so I was listening to the experts, and they were making it sound like Gonzaga was like this team of destiny. They were undefeated, they'd never lost, and they were just basically, it was their time to win a national championship.
Nope.
And they're just saying the game against UCLA was a fluke. It wasn't there, and whatever. And apparently, it wasn't. UCLA was a damn good team. But do you know what else they didn't mention? The experts.
Baylor.
I'm sorry, the experts. They didn't mention that the coach for Gonzaga never won the big game. He's been there a couple times, never won. I'm like, that's kind of a big deal. Now, I mean, granted, on the flip side, the other guy, the Baylor coach, I don't even know his name. He'd never won either because I don't even remember the last time Baylor was national champion, of
Never.
anything.
The last time a Texas team won the national champion was like 1962, and it was like Texas Southern, some cockamamie bullshit.
Well, that's not cockamamie bullshit. Texas Southern is like right around the corner.
No. It was some Texas school that's probably not even around anymore.
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, so, I mean, yeah, hats off to Baylor. Congratulations, guys.
How'd your women's bracket do?
There's a women's bracket?
Apparently, I don't know. I didn't fill one out.
Well, I didn't even know they played.
No.
That's weird. Good for them, I guess.
So,
look, I know they played. I know Stanford's the national champion. I get it, but I don't watch that sport.
I don't think it was Stanford.
It was Stanford.
Stanford was there. Was it Arizona that won?
No, Stanford won. It was that one girl that bitched about the weight room or something.
I'll take your word on it.
I'm making this up.
No, I'll take your word on it.
Oh, look it up, bitch.
I'm looking.
You got your phone right there, clicking on buttons and stuff.
With the click, click, click,
NCAA
click, click.
Women's. Can I spell women's?
Arizona
right?
was
women's
there.
basketball.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
But Stanford did
Stanford
win.
versus Arizona, and Stanford won 54-53.
Look at you.
I told you.
I'm so proud of you.
Well, see, like
I'm gonna buy you I'm gonna buy you a Stanford's NCAA Women's Championship shirt.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question.
And tube top. Do they still make tube tops?
I mean,
like, is that still a thing?
I hope so. That's like the greatest clothing creation for women ever.
Tube tops and shorts.
No. Tube tops and yoga pants. So no, like I know that we joke about women's sports.
It's all a joke. Before y'all start rioting outside of our houses.
We legit follow. But I was going to ask you. So, you know how, like, Texas is a team, right? The University of Texas. What's their mascot?
Bevo?
Well, okay, not the actual name, but, like, what's their team name?
The Longhorns.
Right. And, like, Texas Tech, what's their name?
Red Raiders.
Okay, what's Stanford's team?
The Spartans?
No, that's UC. That's USC. No, that's actually not even the Spartans. That's the Trojans. Spartans. Who the fuck are the Spartans?
Holy fuck!
Yeah, I know you don't know.
I don't even tell me because I don't even want to waste the time looking it up.
They're the Cardinal.
Wait,
not even an S. Yeah, Cardinal.
So they don't fly in flocks or flocks of cardinals.
Well, so I'm gonna go with it's Stanford, so they probably know better than us. So apparently, Cardinals is not a thing.
Multiple birds of the same race.
The same. So St. Louis, all those people, they're stupid.
Well, I'm not arguing
the
with
Arizona
that.
Cardinals. No, they're stupid too.
I'm not arguing that
just
either.
Arizona Cardinal.
Wow. Well, there's your fun fact for the day.
I mean, you know me, trivia. That's my thing.
That is true. Speaking of trivia, did you see the latest episode of Jeopardy with Aaron Rodgers being the guest host?
I did not, but I did hear about it. Somehow, when we switched internet providers, we also switched cable providers. So I no longer record Jeopardy because I don't know what channel it comes on and I don't know what time it comes on. But I heard that they trolled old Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my God, it was so beautiful. So those of y'all who haven't heard, because you live under a rock or you don't search the internet like the rest of us losers,
I haven't heard either.
So a player was on there, and I'm guessing he was a returning champion, and it came down to Final Jeopardy. I couldn't tell you what the fucking question was because I really don't care what it was. It's more about the line that the man gave. So you know how it goes. They give you the answer, and then you have to write it down in the form of a question. He wrote down, who wanted to kick the field goal? in reference to the playoff game, the NFC Championship game against Tampa Bay. Who wanted to kick the fucking field goal? Fucking Rodgers freezes, gives like this awkward laugh, and he's like, "That's a correct answer for another show."
Well, I mean, we all talked about it. Why the hell did they not, or why the hell did they kick the field goal? You got to go for the touchdown.
Bro,
What
this is not even on script, and we're going to talk about it now because of the fact that the things that are happening in Green Bay on both sides, nobody is budging. Nobody's talking about Rodgers is going to be our quarterback, and Rodgers isn't saying I'm coming back. Rodgers is practically saying it is what it is. You know, whatever they want to do with me, that's what I'm going to do.
I'm so irritated with all of this because after they lost the NFC Championship game, I immediately said you could go ahead and bet on the Packers being in the Super Bowl next year because they're going to be there. And then at the press conference after the game, Aaron Rodgers says, well, everybody's talking about this quarterback's future and that quarterback's future, but nobody wants to talk about mine. And everybody was like, well, because we didn't think there was a question about your future. What the fuck?
Right.
And then he went quiet and he never said anything else about it.
Dude, I can't imagine a Green Bay team without Aaron Rodgers. Then again, the same thing was said about Brett Favre whenever he was there, and then they drafted Aaron Rodgers.
But is Jordan Love the next Aaron Rodgers?
Who knows, man? Why? Nobody expected Tom Brady to be Tom Brady.
Oh, look, okay.
Am I wrong?
I don't like Tom
Am
Brady,
I wrong?
But Jordan Love is not even close to Tom Brady.
Well, I'm not saying that. I mean, it took time for Tom Brady to get to be Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
And plus, he's under the greatest coach of all time, whereas Matt LaFleur is not the greatest coach of all time.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is 37, so... I mean, who's the last quarterback to win a Super Bowl that old? Oh, wait.
Tom Brady.
Right, I was going to say, no, he's still doing it. So, I mean, is he still a top 5 quarterback? Absolutely. Would I want him to play for my team? Absolutely. But he's kind of an asshole.
Does he win?
So I can kind of see why there is some thought of moving him. But, I mean, did any of this start before they drafted Jordan Love, you think? Or do you think they drafted? What I'm saying, do you think they drafted him because there was already turmoil there?
I think it happened whenever McCarthy got fired from there and they brought in. Is it Matt LaFleur that's there?
Dude, I just followed your lead. I assume.
Whoever the head coach, I want to say it's LaFleur or some shit like that. Maybe he's Canadian. I don't know.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur. He is 6 years older than us.
That's besides the point. Don't make me feel worse about my life decisions.
I just meant that if he's 6 years older than us, then he's only like 4 years older than Aaron Rodgers. So maybe that's why he fucking hates him.
Well, if I remember correctly, whenever he was brought in, there was already some turmoil between him and Rodgers. And so that could have led to the decision to go ahead and say, we're going to go ahead and take Jordan Love. Jordan Love, I think he stepped out on the field maybe once or twice this past season, didn't do anything phenomenal, didn't bring up any recognition like Jalen Hurts or Tua did, or any of the other quarterbacks that got drafted. So I don't know. It's really hard to determine whether or not that is the actual future. Now, the real question is LaFleur the future? Is he the future of the Green Bay Packers as far as a head coach? Because if you bring in a different head coach, your whole plan is thrown out the window and shit on.
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of, right? But let's be honest. Aaron Rodgers is not really their future.
He's the in the moment guy.
Right. He happens to be the guy that's driving the car currently, but they're gonna have to come in for a change for a pit stop here in a little bit. Not everybody can play till they're 50.
Yeah,
right?
but
I mean, we've seen Aaron Rodgers driving around in the back of a truck with a 30-pack of beer. So he's not really doing the TB12 like workout and bang hot supermodels to stay young thing.
That's true.
he's kind of still doing like the college drink-a-thon thing. So
Well, hold on. You say that, and in honor of National Beer Day, go back to last year or the year before when he was at a Milwaukee Bucks game, as well as the linemen and Christian Yelich, and they all did the beer drink off.
yeah, but he couldn't chug his beer. Remember
That
that?
so
It was like,
I'm not worried about him and his drinking. Like he he spilled it halfway down. He didn't
yeah, it's
finish
all
the
down his
drink.
shirt.
Right. I'm not worried about that.
No,
Um,
I'm saying just like, honestly, over under 3 years for him to be quarterback, including this season.
I am a firm believer that he loves the game and he wants to keep playing, but I believe even more that he wants to continue playing in Green Bay. He's happy
Oh,
being there. He's happy with just the routine that is the Green Bay Packers, right?
well, I
I
mean, that's
don't
the only team he's ever known, right? So
and
of course,
and I don't feel like he is somebody who would be comfortable and would shine going to another team, picking up their stuff. So if you give me 3 years, I'm going to go ahead and say under because of the fact that he wants to retire as a Green Bay Packer. He doesn't want to change teams. He doesn't want to deal with the bullshit because he already has the mileage on the road to where he doesn't need to learn a whole new playbook and do all this other shit. No, I'm Aaron fucking Rodgers. You adapt to me.
right?
That's
And
how it
like,
should
I
be.
I see that, right? But I mean, who else is like the king of repetition and routine and no change?
Drew Brees?
Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
right? Peyton Manning did not like anything disturbed. And
But
he
he
went from Indianapolis to Denver, and it wasn't his choice. So what I'm saying is I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to leave Green Bay, and it's not going to be his choice.
that's going to be a sickening day.
Well, but I mean, think about it. We say that, and then they did the same thing to Brett Favre. You know, they wanted Brett Favre to leave, and he wasn't ready to leave, and so he retired, and then he unretired, and then he retired again. So that way, the only way that the only reason why I feel like he did that with the retiring is because he wanted to have some semblance of control.
Right.
But I mean, regardless, though, the franchise told him, we drafted Aaron Rodgers to be our starter. He's going to take over.
Yep.
And, once they got tired of the Brett Favre, they put in Aaron Rodgers, and then the rest is history. So I feel like that organization already has the history of kicking a Hall of Fame quarterback to the curb. They're going to do it again when they're ready.
That's
And
the
if
shitty part
Jordan
of this
Love
game.
is the guy, they're just going to kick him to the curb like they did. So
That's the shitty part of this game, man.
well, I mean, because at the end of the day, it's a business, right?
Absolutely.
Like we grew up in the era where Jeff Bagwell and Craig Biggio played their whole career for the same team. That shit doesn't happen anymore.
That is true.
We knock people, but like Steph Curry right now is the only person that's been on this team like the longest, I think.
With him and Clay. Yeah.
And like that's crazy. And the only reason why they're there is because they got drafted by that team.
I'm sure you could probably find some bench players that are still on a team.
Well, right, but I'm talking about names that are like household names.
Well, no names, right?
Think about baseball. How many players in baseball change teams every fucking year?
Well, those are your ones that don't want to give it up. Like, who's the one that's been hitting home runs lately that I thought was with Seattle? We were talking about the other day. Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz, yeah.
Yeah, Nelson Cruz is moving around like a bottle of whiskey.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that's towards the end of his career, but I mean, look at George Springer, right?
That
George contract with Toronto. Like, who the hell does that?
That was needed though. That breaks you away
Who?
for him. And as an Astros fan, it sucks to see him leave, but also at the same time, that breaks him away from the stigma that is the Houston Astros now with the 2017 championship, right? And
So do you honestly think that he's ever going to outlive that?
yes, and
He was the face of that franchise.
Andy Pettit lived out of the steroid and got into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but
That's way worse to me.
Andy Pettit came out and admitted it, and then he's not like, I know he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. I got it. But he's not a household name like Roger Clemens or Barry Bonds.
I don't know.
Now, I mean, I don't want to say that George Springer is more recognizable than Andy Pettit. Well, you know what? George Springer is, he is more recognizable than Andy Pettit, because Andy Pettit was always like the bridesmaid, never the bride, and he's been in the league for 10 years. So I feel like George Springer is the face of the cheating scandal. Him and Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa, they will wear that forever. Jose Altuve, I think, is the only player that will get out from underneath that shadow.
I don't know. Even though from people doing their own tests and sound tests and all that, supposedly Altuve came out as the lowest one using the trash can or whatever system they were using. But
Yeah.
it seems like he's the one getting the most heat because that was his MVP year. And so
Yeah, and I mean
he's the one that gets attacked so much more than
he
Bregman
does,
or
because honestly, I think it's because he's the best player on the Astros team. I
absolutely.
mean, but Carlos Correa is the most vocal player. He is much better at playing the villain than Jose Altuve, and that's why I feel like Jose Altuve will eventually get out from underneath that shadow, because Carlos Correa and Alex Bregman are going to take that over.
I'm loving me some Carlos Correa lately.
I mean, he's still hitting like shit, but I mean,
But he did the walk off the other day.
well, it
And
wasn't a walk off, but yeah, he took the lead in the top of the ninth. But I got you.
did you hear the post interview? I meant to get a clip for it so we could post it on here.
But I can only imagine how epic it was, because he's such a prick.
Oh, he is, and it's a good prick.
I like him, but he's a prick now. If he played for another team,
I'd
be
fucking
like
hate
Jock
him.
Peterson. I'd fucking hate him.
He'd be like Juan Soto. I'd fucking hate him.
Dude,
But
okay, so like Juan Soto,
excuse me.
like I don't like him, but it's only because he plays for another team. He's cocky as all get out, but the motherfucker can play.
Oh my
Jock
god.
Peterson is the cockiest motherfucker that can't hit. I don't understand. Your entire job is to hit a baseball, and you can't do it, but you run your mouth like you're fucking Ty Cobb.
And
It drives me insane. I can't stand that guy.
I think with Soto and me with a lot of Americans probably don't like Juan Soto mainly because of Buck. During that World Series run, during that whole playoff series, Buck was all over Soto's snob.
But I mean, Joe Buck does that. He is terrible. Everyone agrees. But it's like he goes through the lineup and he's like, whose cock will taste the best?
Aaron Judge? Oh wait, he's not here.
Yeah, shit. Aaron Judge got eliminated. So who's next? Well, you know what? No one's talking about Juan Soto.
Ooh, and he's only 21.
Yeah, he's only 21. I love how you knew where I was going.
Yeah. I like them young boys.
Right, and so like, I think you're right. I think he probably wouldn't even have been. I mean, we would have talked about him because he played phenomenally. But
the feud between him and Bregman during that whole series, I loved. I was at the edge of my seat watching that shit.
That's like old school baseball, like ready to jump out of the dugout and punch each other. Well, let's be honest. The only person that ever punches anybody is Odor.
Yeah.
And what's that guy's name for the Blue Jays? Not Bautista.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jose Bautista.
He found out real quick.
Oh,
no shit, man.
That's still one of my favorite moments in sports history.
And look, I hate both those players. I'll be totally honest. But usually baseball fights are like, oh, get in front of me, hold me back. Oh, push this way. Oh, I'm gonna do this. And that guy was like, no, fuck it. I'm knocking your brains in. Bam!
You know who's number one at doing that whole push and shove and talking shit kind of crap? Fucking Bryce Harper. Like, Bryce Harper looks like a guy who would go out and try to bust up his own knuckles against a tree. But whenever he charges the mound and those locks just start flowing, he looks like a tramp just trying to swing hands at somebody. Just like
I remember when him and one of the relievers got into it in the dugout when he played for Washington. Oh my God, I loved it. Like, I almost wanted to donate to the other dude's charity because I was like, yeah, that's exactly what Bryce Harper needs. He reminds me of me. He reminds me of this kid that just runs his mouth constantly in high school and like needed his ass beat, and it just never happened. You know, me, I got mine. We're good. But that guy still doesn't think that he's a piece of shit. And he is a piece of shit. People need to tell him.
Oh, most definitely. But he's going to probably be like, look at the bank account.
Well, yeah, because he's that kind of guy.
Right.
So, you know.
Quick stop for the greatest sound ever. Ready?
Yeah, that's one. That's up there. I like that.
I love the sound of a whiskey bottle opening. While we're on the topic of baseball, I want to dive into something that I haven't done probably since college, and that's fantasy baseball. Let me
Well, you
tell
know what?
you
I'm right there with you,
the
buddy.
fucking headache of fantasy baseball. I don't know how I got talked into this shit, but I was told, hey, we got some spots open. You want to join? Fuck it, right?
Dude, so like I was on the same text and I was dying. Like, I've been wanting to do fantasy baseball for a couple of years.
Ugh,
We just haven't found enough idiots to join the league.
dude,
And
it's
then, yeah,
painful.
well, dude, I didn't even know how to use the injured list spots.
I
I had to
just
figure that out today.
I found that out right after you texted me, and I said, I'm
Oh
such a
my
fucking
God.
idiot.
Yeah, so I've had two guys hurt on my roster that I could have put on the IR that I didn't even know how to do it. And so now I finally picked two people up and I still don't even have a full starting roster yet.
It
It's so annoying.
it makes me appreciate fantasy football so much more because of the fact that I don't have to set up a lineup every fucking day. And hats off to the commish of our league. He's doing an outstanding job. Um, I'm having a blast with it. It's just out of my norm, so I'm a little frustrated with it. And so I get a little bit more backlash now from the wife because she's like, "You're on your phone again?" Well, I'm in fantasy football, baseball. Why the fuck would you do that? I don't know. I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
Um,
we're both. Well, so I told the wife about it and she was like, well, at least it's not for money. And I was like, well, thank God it's not for money.
God,
I'm in last place already.
I'm in first place, and I don't know how that happened. Um,
Well, I mean, I've been looking at your team and like, I didn't even know that you were making moves. I thought you just drafted the team and just
oh
left it because I was
no.
like, I'm pretty sure this is how they set it up.
Yeah, I've been making moves. I've been filling in gaps where I need to because three of my top players are already on IL for 10 days. Fernando Tatis, who I'm praising the last podcast, swings the fucking bat for the first time and dislocates his shoulder. Fucking prick.
Yeah.
Doesn't he know I'm trying to win a league that I have nothing involved
Yeah,
in
like
on this?
for real, you can't help me win bragging rights. What the hell? We got to do it for the podcast.
Fernando, I know you're listening right now. Expect a fuck ton of tweets from me here in a little bit after I'm done recording. I'm going to be tweeting the fuck out of you until you block me. That's my goal. All right. I'm going to tweet him until I get fucking blocked.
Dude, so I'm looking at the standings. You have 77 total points.
Giggity.
I have 30.
You got to beef up those numbers.
I'm
Those
in last place by 5 fucking points. This is so bad.
by the one that invited us.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I mean,
I've-
my team is good. It says my team is projected to be pretty good. But yeah, my 4th round pick, he's on the IL. I have a starting pitcher who it said he was healthy. Turns out he's not, so he's on the IL too. And then it had me draft Cleveland's closer. Cleveland doesn't have a closer. They're doing closer by committee, so I dropped that motherfucker. They predicted he was going to have 23 saves, 28 saves. The dude has 1 save, and he has an ERA. Well, let's see where his actual ERA is. Well, you know what? It doesn't even have his ERA because it's so fucking high. But the point is that he's a relief pitcher. They're not supposed to give up a lot of runs.
No.
They're supposed to strike out a lot of people. You know how many strikeouts he has?
How many?
He's got 4 appearances. He's got 2 strikeouts.
You got to start somewhere, man.
Motherfucker, that's
Gotta
not what you're in my lineup for.
Yeah,
So I cut his ass. He's done.
dude, I'm so happy that baseball is
Then
back.
my number 1 pitcher. Oh, my bad. I thought we froze there for a second.
No.
So my number 1 pitcher is Max Fried.
Yeah.
Is it Fried or Fried?
Free day.
That sounds like the Tarjay pronunciation. So today he decided to give up 5 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings. Just in case you're wondering and you're keeping tally at home, that's a 22.5 ERA.
Oh, that's so hot.
No.
No, for me, I love that because that keeps me in first place that much more.
2 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. Good job, buddy. Appreciate you.
I'm up by 16 points right now.
Yeah, I hate
Second in home runs. Leading the league in or home runs. I'm second. Leading the league in runs right now. RBIs. I'm tied for first. Um, I'm just doing all kinds of big shit over here, man.
I'm so mad. And like I drafted my team, you know, hoping that something like they were gonna stay with their projections, and clearly they're not. But you know what else we made predictions on?
What's that?
We made predictions on MLB division winners.
Yeah, we did.
And right now, my division winners for the AL East, they're in 4th place.
Go ahead and remind the fans who that might be.
Well, it's the Yankees.
Say
it
again.
To be fair, they've only played 6 games. They're 3-3, and the Orioles are 4-2. Do we really think the Orioles are going to win this division?
I don't know, man.
No.
You know what
team?
You
know. You just don't want to say.
You know what team is surprising me? It's Cincinnati. Cincinnati.
Well,
I mean, granted, it's still early, and that's what I fucking hate about baseball, because she starts showing you a nip, and then next thing you know, she whips out a dick, and she just fucks you. And
wow, that went sideways in a hurry.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, I think we both picked St. Louis to take that division. I may have gone with the Pirates. I don't remember.
I thought you picked the Brewers, but either way.
Right. Cincinnati's out 5-1 right now. And
I mean, they're 5-1, but they've played every game at home, so there's that.
They're not looking bad though, man. They're getting the bats. They're getting the motion going.
You know, they've got obviously Joey Votto. They traded for Nick Castellanos. Well, I don't know if they traded for him, but they signed him. Nick Castellanos on their team.
Bro is doing some shit out there with them 4 home runs.
He's a pretty good player.
On my fantasy team, by the way.
Do what?
He's on my fantasy team, by the way.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. So, I mean, they have Mike Moustakas. Obviously, we know who that guy is. Luis Castillo is one of their starting pitchers that is supposed to be like up and coming and maybe in the Cy Young talks. Sonny Gray, we all know who Sonny Gray is.
Jonathan India is killing it with that batting average.
They have some good pieces. So it's not surprising that they would get out to like a quick start, but I just don't think they're going to sustain it. I think the Cardinals are just going to be too good.
And this is kind of like betting on the ponies, right? Because you see who's taking the lead right out the gate, and you're hoping and praying that they continue that stretch. And then all of a sudden on that final stretch, they just fucking shit the bed, right?
I mean, that's the worst part. I mean, right now, the only thing that's kind of crazy is that we've had the Nationals and the Mets had to postpone their series.
Yep.
So, right now, if you look, the Phillies are in first place in the NL East.
That's
the team that's in second and third place are the Nationals and the Mets, and they only have one fucking win. So it's really weird to look at that, but
I almost bet the Phillies and Mets the other night whenever the Mets finally touched the field, and it was Jake DeGrom starting, and I was like, dude, that's sketchy. And they had, who was it, Mike Moore, I want to say his name was, starting for the Phillies, and he has had, like, his 2019 ERA was the only thing that they had available, because 2020 he didn't do shit. I was like, oh, there's no fucking way the Phillies are going to win this. Phillies fucking came out and dominated that game, and I probably would have won some decent change then, but I passed up on it.
Based on what we've seen so far, are you ready to change your picks, or are we just both saying it's way too early?
It's way too early because, I mean, you haven't seen enough variety against these teams. I mean, let's take the Astros. They've had the A's, who fucking were horrible.
Well, they won the A's won the division last year.
Right, but the Astros scored like 40-something points against them in 3 games. I know that's not right. Or like runs.
What fucking podcast are you on, bro?
I'm on my second drink. Chill out. And then they played the A's, and then they lost the first one, came back on the second. So, like, you haven't seen enough variety on these teams, so it's too early to call them. I'm still eager to watch everything that keeps coming to the All-Star break. That's when I'm coming back to you, man. All-Star break, I'm more than likely going to change because I think I had the Mets on there. Based off of what I'm seeing, if they keep this track record, it won't be the Mets.
I mean, I'm still saying White Sox. They've got a couple injuries. I mean, my 4th round draft pick, Tim Anderson, the freaking shortstop, he's hurt, so that sucks.
That whole
But
team, though,
I mean, they pretty much got smashed like the opening weekend. So
they really did, and it's crazy to see that
but I mean, they battled back. They're 3-4. They're only 1.5 games back because the most teams have played is 6 games, so they're not that far off the pace. They can jump back, and I think especially once that shortstop gets back from the 10-day injured list, and he can put a spark back into that offense. They should be right back on track. It is a hamstring injury, so I'm a little leery of that. It seems like those types of injuries can be, kind of nagging, and they're the type of injury that you take, like, you rest, you take all the proper precautions, you get treatment for it, and then the first time you let it loose, you feel it tighten up again, and so there's always that concern. But I feel like they're going to take it easy with him. They're going to ease him back into the lineup like they should, because he's a pretty. I mean, I wouldn't say he's a cornerstone for their offense, but he's a pretty hot commodity for their team. He's probably one of their most important players for them to win the division and move forward, and kind of compete with the Twins. So I'm hoping that they can pull it off. So I guess I'm still going to stick with it. I'm still saying White Sox, and I'm still saying
say it.
Dodge.
Yeah,
I don't want to say it.
they're too good, man.
They are. They're just
And
too damn good.
it's funny watching opening day and they get rocked by the Rockies, no pun intended on that. And people are like immediately jumping ship. Fuck the Dodgers, they ain't doing shit. Blah blah blah. You look
Yeah.
at them now; they're leading their division right now. Right? Again, it's still super early. That's still a super powerhouse team. I don't care what you say, and I wouldn't be surprised if come trade deadline they pull some crazy ass shit too to make that team that much better. Them getting Mookie Betts last year, I was not expecting that shit whatsoever.
It was like a fantasy baseball trade.
It
It's like,
really
I
was.
never thought that something like that would happen. But, the Red Sox were in the position to sell, so
Yep.
that's just what they did. And, it worked out for the Dodgers and won the World Series. So there you go.
There's still a lot of games to play. Tons of game. We're
Yeah, look,
barely
we're the
as
most. I said the most earlier that teams have played was 6. Apparently, the Dodgers have played 7. So there's that. But I mean, yeah, 7 games into 162. We still have 155 left to go.
in your own words, we've only got the tip in. We still got 3 inches to push
I would
in.
say I wouldn't even say it's a tip. I'd say we just spit on it right now. So we'll see what happens. I'm still sticking with my picks. I mean, I do like the Mets. Maybe the Mets will challenge the Dodgers. I just don't. I don't see it yet. I mean, but yeah, I think in the AL it's going to be the White Sox and probably the Astros if they can get
Dude, if they keep playing that way, man, I may be switching
this
over.
this offense is pretty stout. I mean, you're
The, p-
scoring 8-9 runs a game versus the team that won your division last year. I mean, that's kind of setting the tone.
Dude, me looking at the over-unders for fucking baseball, because this is the first year I've even started dabbling in MLB betting. Like, looking at
Yeah,
over-unders of 8.5, 9.5 for baseball, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to take the under every day. Nope,
I
I'd be
know, right? Like,
wrong.
where are the games of our past where we saw
1-2 games,
1 to
1-0.
nothing?
And I'm glad we're not
Yeah,
at that
that
stage.
doesn't happen.
I'm glad we're at. I've told you before. I don't want to see a pitcher's match. I want to see people go fucking yard. Bring back the steroids. Fucking hit that shit back in the arms. Let's go fucking deep on this shit. But
That I want to like one of the best games that I saw. No, one of the best games that I saw. Dallas Keuchel pitched for the Astros,
yeah,
7 scoreless. The Astros, I think, scratched across a run in the first inning. The final score was 1 to nothing. That was one of the best executed games I'd ever seen.
Can you jump on my time machine for a second, okay?
Okay, I'm with you.
Because you were there with me. Oh
Oh,
05, wild
yeah,
card game. Astros Braves, Minute Maid, center field, standing by the gas pump on the fence.
dude. We got there at 7:05.
You can't tell me that was not the best game experience ever.
No, like to this day, that was still the best game I've ever seen. I mean, it was the first time that we broke through and finally beat the damn Braves. You know?
I'll say this: if I haven't had the privilege of enjoying a World Series game with the Astros, but if I did, the only comparison I could give to that would be the Astros winning Game 7 at home. Like a wild card game, as intense as that game
five,
was.
but yeah.
What's that?
It was game 5, but yeah, whatever.
Well, no, I'm saying what would compare to that wild card game
I
is
misunderstood.
being at a Game 7 at home and the Astros
Yeah.
win it. To me, any other games between that cannot equal the experience that we had at that game. And I don't know why that was brought up or why we're on this topic now. We're just shooting the shit. But
Well, I mean, we're talking about the Astros, and that's so. I guess with us being, not being able to go out because of COVID and all that kind of stuff, we're just kind of reliving that feeling. Because like we've talked about it before, watching baseball on TV is just not the same as watching it live.
It's not.
And like I know people always say, "Oh, you just want to go and drink a draft beer." Like, yeah, I would love to drink beer, but I don't even have to have a beer at the game.
Honestly, I just need a bag of peanuts.
Yeah, I need some sunflower seeds. I need a hot dog. I need the dude like yelling cotton candy. Like I need like all that. Like I just need the surroundings. I need the smell. I want to hear the crack of the bat. Like all that stuff. And baseball's here, and coronavirus is kind of going down. I don't know. We're getting the vaccine. We're doing things. The Rangers, they opened up their stadium to 100% capacity on opening day. So please, for the love of God, get us back to normal sports.
Dear baseball gods, dear sports gods, please get us there. Amen.
Anything so that we can watch sports live. Because like some of the greatest moments of my life, other than obviously getting married and my kids being born. Those are the easy ones. But like the other memories that I have, well, no, I'm just saying, like, obviously those are probably the greatest achievements that anybody ever does, right? I get it. But
I was in a hot dog eating contest once.
Yeah, but you just swallowed them whole. I think that was cheating.
Hey, winning's winning.
So, like, some of my greatest moments in life, I saw that 16-inning game where Roger Clemens runs out to the bullpen, didn't even have cleats on, right? Ready to go, goes out there and he pitches 4 scoreless.
I'm getting fucking chills just thinking about that game.
The catcher, Brad Ausmus, who never hits his fucking weight.
Right under us.
A home run right underneath us to tie the game.
Oh, my God.
Right? And then Chris Burke, a guy who's
Chris Burke.
He wasn't even in the game anymore. Like after that game, after that season, I don't think he even played baseball anymore. He went to Arizona, and I think he got cut.
Bro.
And that was it. And he hit a walk-off home run in like the greatest game I've ever been to. It's the things you remember. And like, across all sports venues, I was in Houston at Reliant Stadium when they still called it Reliant, when Peyton Manning broke the single season passing record.
You were.
I was there.
I remember getting a text from you that day.
Yeah, I was there. I watched it. He threw it on my side of the field, just the other side of the end zone. But I was there for that.
Did he show you his belly button after that?
Well, I showed him mine. He earned it. But like then I was in Denver when he broke the career passing touchdown record. Yeah. Right? And those games, they're in there. Like, and I'll never forget that kind of stuff. I might forget my phone number at times, but I'll never forget that stuff. And right now, our kids, they don't get to go to these games. They're not going to get to make those types of moves.
Temporary. It's temporary.
That's what I'm saying. I hope and pray that this coronavirus shit just goes away and we don't have to deal with it anymore. Because, I mean, clearly we weren't prepared for something like this. and I feel like I just want my life back, dude.
We're getting there, man, and it's one day at a time. And I know we want everything instantaneously nowadays, but you know what?
Yeah, instant gratification. I got it.
Well, Zach, even though we're coming to an end on this episode, we do have fans out there that stay up to date episode per episode per episode, and they keep asking us, when are you going to come out with another one? When are you going to come out with another one? Well, you know what? For those of y'all who do that, we do appreciate that. In your meantime, if you need some time to fill, go check out our buddies Justin and Christian over at Alcoholics Autonomous. They're also on Spotify. Fucking hilarious. All right, they talk about anything and everything. Go check them out. Great guys. Tell them we sent you. They'll probably have a beer with you or two.
Yeah, I mean, we went to college with Christian, so we know him
Yes.
a bit. Hung out with him for a while. I mean, I don't want to date us, but that was 15 years ago.
Right.
So,
Don't put our age out there now, man. Like,
well,
shit,
I
people
mean,
can do basic math nowadays. They got a fucking calculator
yeah,
on their
that's
phone.
true. That's true. But I mean, Christian's a good guy. The podcast, they wanted us to give him a shout out, so there you go.
And
Like, I don't want to say that we talk about the same type of topics that they talk about, because we try to stay sports only, but they touch on a lot of different stuff, and
they do.
And I don't want to say you ever get tired of sports, because who the hell gets tired of sports?
How do you get tired of sports?
Just in case you want a different perspective and a couple of things to talk about, they'll hit it up.
They dabble in a little bit of everything, and they put their own comic twist to it. They're fucking geniuses over there. Go check them out. But you're still here with us, and we truly appreciate it. And keep following us if you are, and if you're not, you need to go ahead and fucking follow us, because you're fucking losing if you're not.
Right. Well, and on top of that, if you are following us, why is your mom not following us? Why is your dad not following us? Why is your brother and sister not following us? Dude, like, for Christmas, you should almost hold on. Christmas is kind of far away.
Hey, but birthdays happen in between there.
Well, in your Easter basket for all your family, you should have been giving out links to Wanna Be Athletes Talk Sports, because why wouldn't you? That's what I did.
Mother's Day is coming up.
Mother's Day is coming up, and you know who really likes your mother?
Us. We love your mother. And you know what? Right after that, we'll love your daddy too. Giggity.
Very much so.
Please, y'all, continue to share, continue to send us the love, continue to send us the hate. We love it. We enjoy it. We're having fun with this. We're going to keep going to it. We're aiming to get outside Minute Maid Park and do a show in front of a game. Come fucking join us. We will let y'all know when that happens. We'll bring the fucking party there.
Yeah, we got to talk to the mayor and get a permit, but we're going to do that. We're going to give away some beads. I mean, hey, we might interview some people. I don't know if we're capable of doing that.
They might be anal beads. If they're used, that's not your problem. Just wash them off. What?
Don't give away mine.
Well, no, yours are like advanced level pro status. We're doing like amateur beginners.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not trying to hurt the folks.
Zach, always a fucking pleasure, dude. Guys, we love y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Adios, assholes.
Oh, is it?